Take a look at these two very similar sentences. The Declaration of Independence was signed. 56 men signed the Declaration of Independence. Which sentence is better? Well, it depends on what meaning you want to emphasize. Do you want the reader to know who signed the Declaration, or do you want to emphasize that the Declaration was signed? Depending on how you answer that question, you can decide whether you want to use the active or the passive voice. In this lecture, you'll learn to identify the difference and decide when to use the active and when to use the passive. The active voice is what we most often use in natural speech. Using the active voice for the majority of your sentences makes your meaning clear for readers and keeps the sentence from becoming too complicated or wordy. You can recognize the active voice by looking for a clear agent, who or what is doing the action. When the sentence expresses a clear agent, converting from passive to active is straightforward. Here are some examples. Passive. The music was performed by the local orchestra. Active. The local orchestra performed the music. Passive. By tomorrow, all of the current cases will be decided by the judge. Active. By tomorrow, the judge will decide all of the current cases. Notice how in both of these sentences, the active version clearly expresses an agent, the orchestra and the judge, while in the passive versions, we don't know exactly who is doing the action until we get that extra phrase, by the local orchestra, by the judge. When the sentence does not express a clear agent, you may need to use context clues or add information to convert the sentence to the active voice. Passive. Amazingly, the mystery was solved. Active. Amazingly, Holmes solved the mystery. Passive. The books were shipped overnight. Active. The seller shipped the books overnight. In those passive sentences, you wouldn't automatically be able to figure out who was doing the action, but in your own writing, you will usually have the context clues that you need to supply those subjects. But the active voice is not always preferable to the passive voice. If you wish to de-emphasize or omit the agent, the passive voice works better. Here are some examples. Rules are made to be broken. History was made on July 4th, 1776. I got pulled over for speeding. 3 drops of water were added to the beaker. The passive voice is also commonly used in scientific writing, especially when discussing methods or results. The solution was added to the beaker. 99 new species of newts were identified. Choosing the passive or the active voice is not a matter of making corrections, but rather of choosing the most appropriate option for the sentence you are writing. With practice, you will learn to avoid the passive when it causes ambiguity and use it when it serves your needs.